It's time once again for Lostview. 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 Bitch. So we have the Lost season finale. The first part aired not quite last night, more like 3 or 4 nights ago now. We made some headway into the Oceanic 6 story, which is still just gaping with holes. You know, first the big question was, well, how is Hurley going to get to the freighter? And now it seems like everyone's headed towards the Orchid except for Sun and Aaron. It's like, how in the world are all these people going to end up getting off of this island? I think the question now is starting to become, is the freighter actually the way that they get off the island? Because I'm starting to think the freighter is not how they get off the island. It's going to be the Orchid or something instead. There's all this stuff about teleportation. I mean, it's mostly rumors at this point. There really hasn't been anything in the show to suggest that teleportation is what it does. But I actually had a theory going for a while. It might not be so much just one person traveling to a different point in time or a different place. What it might be is actually a person switching places with someone else. And the thing that made me think of this was, well, not only are we wondering how in the world does Hurley get all the way back out to the freighter, but we are also wondering how does Desmond end up back on the island? Because Desmond, as far as we know, is not with the Oceanic 6. I guess they probably wouldn't categorize him as one of the Oceanic 6 because he wasn't on the plane. But the rest of the world doesn't know the difference. I mean, he was on the island just like the rest of them were. And he got rescued just like the rest of them. It doesn't matter if he was on the plane. To the general public, they're just going to say, well, he was another person who was on the island who got rescued. So he might not officially be like an Oceanic flight member. You know, like Oceanic is not the reason he ended up on the island, so he wouldn't be entitled to compensation or whatever like the rest of them would. What I'm trying to think of is, like, you know, because if this is going to be a big public story and everything, people are going to say, well, you know, I mean, this is not the first time this has happened, and it won't be the last time it happens. But what makes this case so special that it gets all this public attention? I guess the fact that they were on the island for 100 days is kind of a fascinating story, but, I mean, to be honest, more fascinating things do happen in this world. You know, that's something that would be, like, everybody would be talking about it for a week if it happened in real life, and then they would just, like, not talk about it after that. Maybe Desmond got off with them, because he said he's not going back to the island, and I think the only reason he would is maybe because we found out now there's a C4 on the boat, which is not good at all. They have to find a way to tell this story without killing the suspense, because it's like, you know, when we saw the Saeed and Nadia reunion, which I thought was awesome, by the way, I've been waiting for that ever since the Solitary. But it was weird because after he reunited with her, and then it cut back to him on the Zodiac, the little raft thing, and he was heading for the island. It really hit me in that moment that there was really no suspense for his character anymore, because we knew he was going to survive because we had just seen him in the flash forward. So I'm not sure where that whole C4 thing is going, but I think it's pretty much a common theory that what's going to happen is the thing that's on Kimi's arm is going to trigger it to blow up if he dies, or maybe he can just blow it up anytime he wants to. I don't know. Why are there no kind of policemen or marshals or anybody to pick up Kate when she gets off of the plane? Well, I'm not sure how many people even know that she was there, actually, you know. Because it's like we're assuming that when they get off the plane and they reunite with the families, that at that point in time the whole world had already found out not only that these survivors had gotten off of an island, but also who they were. But the thing I'm trying to work out in my head is kind of like exactly what order did all this stuff happen. Because, I mean, eventually these people were picked up from an island, or they were picked up from somewhere, but that couldn't have been the island that they were picked up from, I don't think. The hardest thing to figure out is where exactly were they when they were picked up, and how did the people who did pick them up, how did they find out that they were there? Everyone's headed for the Orchid, and then right there at the end, Ben just turns himself over to Kimi. It's like, you know, he could have done that when Alex's life was at stake. Now he's doing it like for no reason, just so Locke can get in. And whatever Locke's going for must be really important. But apparently Ben thinks it's more important than Alex. So the thing is, when Alex got killed, it's like I said before, and I still believe this, that I don't think Ben actually knew she was going to get killed. And he didn't find out until she did, that that's how he found out that the rules got changed and all that stuff. Does Ben know what the rules have been changed to? Or is there You know, how many possibilities are we talking about here? Is it all just you can kill people or you can't kill people? Or is it you can't kill family members or you can't kill anyone under this certain age or something like that? I mean, I don't know. So Jack knows now that Claire is his sister. Didn't I say before that both he and Kate knew about it? Well, guess what? Oh, hot. And it's hard to talk about how powerful that moment is when you're watching a commercial for Don't Mess with the Zohan. I kind of got that feeling like maybe she was playing dumb just to see how they would react. And some people are saying, well, maybe it was like somebody who works for Widmore trying to guilt trip them into spilling the beans about what, you know, about the rest of the people who are still on the island who are alive. Oh, God, and the 15-year-old crackers. Man, don't even get me started. Like those would actually be edible. Oh, my God. So then Ben picks up the mirror and starts signaling somebody in the sky. Little spirit in the sky. I actually saw that on a sneak peek. It kind of ruined it for me, but it was still cool though, because I didn't know how in the world they were going to work that into this episode, but somehow they did. And so the question is, who was he signaling? It was weird because when I watched it on the sneak peek, I thought he was signaling God. And I don't know why I thought that, because he said himself, God himself can't see this island. But it would be just kind of a Ben thing to do, you know, to lift up his eyes and look north or something. But I think the most popular answer to who Ben was signaling with the mirror is Richard. He signaled Richard to get the others together and do whatever. And then the whole scene with Sun buying out her father. Well, she didn't buy out her father's business, but she bought what they call is a controlling share, something like that. And just before she came in the room, he was saying, what is going on here? Well, whoever did it, they used 5 different banks. Could we be talking about like 5 different bank accounts, as in Jack, Kate, maybe like all the 5 oceanic survivors put their funds together to start a plan or something, and Sun, if she bought it out, she could control it and use it to find the island again or something, I don't know. We're seeing her do this just before she has the baby. So any of these other flash forwards that we've seen in the future with her, like, well, the one other one that we have seen where she goes to visit Jin, at that point she had already bought the company, so anything else we might have to go back and watch that flash forward again and see, you know, what all happened there. Sawyer, I'm not feeling too confident about Sawyer right now. I think they're building it up with the C4 to look like Saeed or Desmond or Jin is going to die, and it's going to end up as Sawyer does. But that's my theory right now. I don't want that to happen, I really don't, but I got a bad feeling. Every time you just start to like a character, boom, they're gone, just like that. Shannon, well hell, even Boone as far as that goes. Season 1 he was always like that, just another guy, but when he started going out with Locke, you know, you started to get to know him and everything, the whole Teresa falls up the stairs and all that stuff. Then he started to get really cool, and then he just died. And Echo, well, hell, he was cool from the beginning, though, so. I don't know about Ana Lucia. She was, you know, she had just started to redeem herself, and all of a sudden. Libby, well, everybody pretty much liked her, you know, especially the whole Hurley thing. But she was just hooking up with Hurley, and she was being so, you know, sweet with him and everything, and they were just having some good times together, and then, boom, she's dead. But now they got Sawyer around acting like this good guy, and people are liking it, you know, they're liking this change in character, they're liking how he's contributing so much now, and now he's going to die because now everybody loves him, you know. People might say, well, no, he can't die because in the future, flash forward, Kate said that she was doing something for Sawyer, and Jack also said he made his choice to stay on the island. Well, you know, that actually, I didn't even think about that. Jack did say he made his choice to stay on the island. But what if making the choice to stay on the island means dying? I had this weird vision in my head where Sawyer's dying, Jack's not around, Kate sees him dying. Jack doesn't know that he died, but Kate sees him die. And his last words to Kate were like a wish, a last wish before he dies. He told her something about Cassidy. And then that's what Kate meant when she said, I was doing this for Sawyer, because it was the last thing that he asked her to do before he died. But Jack doesn't know that he died, so Hurley with the numbers in the car, that was cool. Totally, like, could they possibly have slapped him in the face anymore with that? Even the father was like, oh, that's quite a coincidence. It's nice to see someone else who's not involved in the whole curse thing actually acknowledging that, hey, that's kind of weird, you know. It would be like if he saw the numbers on the soccer girl team, you know, and saying, hey, that's the numbers, that's weird. My God, 29 minutes? I have been going on for 29 minutes. This is ridiculous. I might do another one of these next week if I think of any more stuff. I don't know, but just to tide us over till we can get to the third week, and it's May 29th, which incidentally is my sister's birthday. She'll be 27. Oh my God, my sister's going to be 27. By the way, best line in the episode, cut yourself shaving.